do. Go ahead and let us know what we're
Okay.
doing today.
Okay. So today we are talking about Kobe Bryant, and he was a basketball player exclusively for the LA Lakers. He became a pro right after high school, and he was born in 1978, and he played for 20 years with the LA Lakers. And from 1996 until he retired in 2016. Unfortunately, he passed early on January 26, 2020, in a helicopter crash in Los Angeles. And it was under really sad circumstances because he had his daughter and some of her basketball teammates and their parents with him. And we'll talk about that later. But Becca, are you contacting Kobe right now? Is he
Yes,
around?
I did take a little bit of time right before we got on, Elisa, and asking if he'd be willing to share some information. I do find that people who came to this earth with the being famous as part of their life plan, um, they frequently will share because they have lives still to touch, you know. So I do feel like Colby is able to share with us. So ask away.
Does he have a message he wants to start with?
Okay. And I do feel like I should call him Mr. Bryant. I do. I feel like I do. I do. I feel like this is a little too familiar. So, okay. So, Mr. Bryant, what would you like to share? Okay. And I do use cards to help me. It's almost like it brings little messages to me because source will use these cards, guides will use these cards to speak to me. So we have 3 of coins, 3 of coins. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think he liked all the legal stuff, after he passed, like he passed and he just feels like it's nobody's fault. Um, he didn't like, he doesn't like that kind of wrangling. It's nobody's fault. He just says it's nobody's fault. Although, you could say it was, right? There's some pilot error in there, right? And
Yeah.
maybe some, but then no, Kobe says, no, 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 no. He's very insistent with me. Very insistent with me, Mr. Bryant is. He says, no, it was nobody's fault. That's what he wants everybody to know. It was nobody's fault. Huh. That's
Well,
strange. Huh.
what many people say in the New Age
Mhm.
community that you have exit points. And
Mhm.
was this one of his exit points? But unfortunately, it affected um,
Mhm.
some young girls, their parents,
Right,
coaches.
right.
How,
Mhm.
so, how does he fit? Well, one, did he feel like this was an exit point for him, a
Mhm.
planned exit point?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And let me see, the 9 of wands, his life wasn't as easy as we would think. Okay.
No.
So this was a planned exit point. His life was not
Okay.
as easy as one would think. And his daughter, his daughter who came with him, well, she always did come with him, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, this is what I'm hearing. She always did come with him. Like maybe they had this plan together. Their souls had this plan together before they came in, that they weren't going
okay.
to be there a long time. But yeah,
Okay.
he's very insistent. It's no one's fault. Don't even, I
Okay.
almost wonder if the pilot didn't pass out then, or there's something funny. There's something that
It
missed
was
with his.
rumored that he had
Uh-huh. Did he?
drug or addiction issues. I don't know if it was
Oh,
drug, but or past
okay.
addiction issues.
Hmm. Yeah. But I'm just hearing it's not even, gosh, I'm
But it
just
was
hearing it's
rumored.
not even that. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I'm just
it was
hearing it's
rumored.
not even that. It's like huh. It's like he had a blank out. It's like there's something happened with the pilot
Oh,
that was beyond his control, I believe. And maybe
oh,
not using terribly good judgment, but there's something that did happen. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, so
Right.
he wants to tell us about that.
And the
Mhm,
NTSB did their, you know, report, but they just
mhm,
the what I read
yeah,
in the newspapers, it was just pilot error.
mhm.
It was too foggy. All the
Right,
other
right.
helicopters were grounded because of the fog, and he had said to
Mhm.
the
He
control
shouldn't
he
have
was
done it.
climbing, but while he was climbing above the clouds, he hit a side of a
Yeah,
mountain. Oh,
yeah, yeah.
okay.
He shouldn't have
Uh,
done it, but there was
yeah,
something also that was compromising his,
judgment.
alertness.
Oh, alertness.
Well, his judgment ahead of time wasn't no, that was
Yeah.
just poor decision. Shouldn't have been flying. Poor decision. But then during it, there was something that compromised his alertness. Like if he would have been at the top of his game, he would have been able to do it,
Yeah.
but mm,
So it's curious
okay.
that Kobe mentioned all the legal issues because
Yeah.
he, and I hate to say this, but
Mhm.
even now that they're 3 years after his passing,
Mhm.
there are so many lawsuits that,
Really? Oh,
yes, of course,
that's why
there's the
he
one
brings it
against,
up. He does not like this going on and on.
so
Mm.
I can give some examples and we can, like with
Okay. Yeah.
a business partner sued his wife
Mhm.
for a portion of the profits he had invested early in a company that
Mm.
Coca-Cola purchased and which
Mm.
then was sold for 400 million.
Mm.
And she claimed it was he promised her 2% of the profits. Of course, it was thrown out and she had to pay
Good.
the
Good.
Bryant's family's
Good.
things.
Because I knew that was yeah, because I'm hearing in my ear that that was just all made up.
And
Mm.
then his mother-in-law
Mhm. Mm.
sued his estate right afterwards, claiming that she needed $5 million. And then his
Oh.
wife countersued, and the wife won.
Mhm. Mm.
And
So people have just gone after his wife for his estate.
yes,
Oh, no, or a piece of it. This is why he does not like that. He just wishes so right away I got the lawyer's card. That's the first card I got. He does not like this. Okay. So Mr. Bryant, what do we need to know about that? What does your wife need to know? Yeah, these are people just wanting money. Okay. Um, let's see. They won't be successful though. That page means it won't mature. Okay, what he would like to say is she did a fantastic job with the kids. She's doing a fantastic job with the kids. It's only because of her. Wow, I'm feeling this really strong. It's only because of her and her efforts alone that the children are all doing as well as they are after all of this. So, wow. So that's why he brings this up. He wants to give a message to his wife and let her know that he's really very grateful and he sees everything she does and all the mornings when stressful things are happening and with the lawsuits and such and the children have no idea you know and he sees this, he sees her just suck it up and you know, put on the smile and enjoying them for breakfast.
oh, that's
So,
great. And I think he was estranged from his parents for a while, and they
uh,
tried to sell his, I guess, childhood possessions. And
yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
so she's quite alone when you say it.
Mhm.
It seems that there's no family around her. So
Oh,
yeah,
that's
so
what
and he was a
he's
very devoted family man. He has
mhm,
3 daughters
mhm.
remaining with, his
Right,
wife.
right. Oh my gosh,
So,
this gives me just chills. Because that is yeah. Because the word alone was very important, like, it's only because of her that they're all secure and doing so well, and they are with that 10 of cups. Like,
right.
she's raised him well, she doesn't need to worry. Mhm.
And, um, they are releasing a so because his estate was so large in the first place, but it
Mhm.
seems to be growing because, like as
Oh,
I
yeah.
mentioned, that 400, and I don't know what portion of that 400 million he got from
Mhm.
the investment,
Yeah.
but they're going to put his image and use his image on a NBA kind of video game.
Mhm.
There's some
Oh, good.
Nike shoes that are coming out, and this is just all recently in the past few
Yeah,
months. So is he
good.
really active on the other side with all the, because
Mhm.
he wants to secure his family's future, but I mean it's
Yeah.
just growing. His empire is growing. What
Wow.
is he really
Well,
active on
he
that?
is he is only for his yeah, what I get is he is only for the sake of his wife and children. He actually there's a male advisor to his wife, he's telling
Mhm.
me, who is very competent and trustworthy, and he made sure that this person, became involved. So I'm not sure, I think, is this attorney and but also financial? It can be both, maybe. Does she have, like, a foundation where she'd have access to both? Um, it just feels like she's got some good people advising her, and he did make sure that that would happen. So, yeah, there's that. It's just for her and the girls. Was there a male friend of Kobe's who was very close to him, um, that he wants to say hello to? Because I feel
Was
like
he
yeah,
a
was
basketball star?
was he a basketball star?
Because
Hmm.
okay.
I think maybe because I do see them working together. So I think he may have been also, but then there's also okay. So now I'm getting into the weeds a little bit. Yes, there was a very good friend who also played with him, and
Mhm.
then there was an older male who was a mentor, and I don't know,
Okay.
this could have been his coach, but yeah, this could have been his coach. I but, d was there an older male who was, he was a white guy, um,
Okay.
balding, maybe the hair was light as well, and, I mean, in decent enough shape, but maybe a little portly, whatever, um, normal, and not so tall at all. He looks short to me, but that could be because of the other the players,
Right.
around him. This is matter of perspective, right? So I don't know who that man is, but he
Yeah.
wants to say
I
hello
haven't.
and thank you to him. And
Okay.
and then there's a male friend, and I think also a person of color fellow player who he's very close to, that he wants to say hello to,
Okay.
and like I can't forget him. Like I can't forget him. Like that,
Okay.
because we're
I'll have
talking
to
about his
research,
wife
and if
and
I find
daughters.
someone,
Okay.
I'll put it
Yeah. Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
comments. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did
Wonderful.
research his friends.
And I have to tell you, I have to confess, I know not sports, do not watch sports, have not watched sports, know nothing about it. I am the person who will say, "Is the Super Bowl going on right now?" You know? Or is what's going on right now? Mhm.
So it seems like his wife is being advised, but
Mhm.
she's really grown and blossomed into a businesswoman and real
Ah.
smart because he
Mm.
met her while she was still in high school. He
Oh
was
my
doing some kind of
gosh.
video, and she was a backup dancer, and she was in high school.
Uh-huh.
And they started
Hmm.
dating, and they got engaged, I think, her senior year. And it was so hard that I think she finished high school, by herself. And then they got married a
Ah.
couple years later, or a year or two later. So they were extremely
Wow.
young.
True love story.
Yeah, they
Mm.
were extremely young to get
Mhm.
married. And his parents didn't attend the wedding because they were
Mhm.
against the marriage.
Oh, and she's
I
so
know.
good. They're crazy. Yeah, because I could just see, he's telling me this is a woman of steel, nurture and steel spine. you know? Hmm.
Yeah. So she was
Wow.
even at the um, she still goes to the NBA All-Star game, I think, and they had
Okay.
lots of
Oh,
different things.
wow.
So she
Wow.
is heralded in her own
Mm.
right.
Oh,
In
wonderful.
Yeah. So
So she just,
anyway,
oh, she is. She's a woman of steel. She just is, but also everything for her children, anything for her children, everything for her children.
yeah.
So that's why Kobe is saying, boy, I've got to give her props. I see every little moment. I didn't even know how I didn't. It's almost like, you're married to someone, you live with them, you think they're fantastic, but there's so many things that he didn't even see, and now he sees them all.
So does he spend most of his time with his family, and then, or is
Mhm.
he involved in he's obviously involved in his businesses and his legal from the other side, but does he
Mm,
do, and his his basketball foundations,
mhm.
does he do anything else? Because that's a full plate, but on the other side you can do so many
Yeah.
things.
You know what? He is with his family. He is with, yeah, right. Because on the other side, it's the speed of thought, right? So you can
Yeah.
communicate with different people at different times. But he he is with his family. I mean, even as you're listing all of those accomplishments and all of those things and all those, you know, yeah, he cares about the foundation. He cares about the foundation and he cares about people in his life. And he will actually visit people he was even just acquainted with. They wouldn't even say, we were close friends. No, he is a people person. He will actually touch a lot of people's lives through the day, but it's all about people for him. It's all about relationships. And you know, the legal stuff he only brings up because he wishes everybody would just stop it, but he's not really too involved in it. He just wants to be there for his wife. Yeah. Yeah. But no, he will visit a lot of people. He will. So anyway, I guess I think he's telling us this because if there are people out there who knew him, um, and they didn't think, well, he wouldn't remember me. Don't be so sure. Don't be so sure because he did remember a lot of people. He really did.
And
And
well,
he
I
was
think
very
he had
extroverted, I think, right?
he had a
Mhm.
mind like a steel trap. He could remember anything, and he was
Oh,
famous for the Kobe death stare. So if you did not live up to his expectations, the umpires,
yeah.
the umpires, it's not an
Right,
umpire, it's a
right, right,
referee. I'm
right.
sorry,
The rep
umpires, baseball. Like we're
like
both
me with
bad at
sports.
sports. Okay, I'm like
Yeah.
like they're hitting me. It's not that word. Okay, so
Your
his
guides are
teammates,
telling you.
yeah, it would would know that death stare because he played at such a high level, arguably
Mhm.
one of the, the best players ever in the
Right.
NBA, and he expected that from his teammates at all times
Uh,
also.
mhm. Oh,
So,
yeah. Maybe
does he
that's where
have
we
any
get.
comments on his famous death stare?
Okay, Mr. Bryant, do you have any comments on your famous death stare? Well, you know what? We're laughing about it, but he's not laughing. Um, what I hear from him is it's not a light matter.
Mm,
What I hear from him is he that was a very human part of him. That was a very human part of him and very competitive, right? And he was going to
yes.
win. And that's okay. That's all okay because that was his path in this lifetime. And because of that, he did have a large influence, right? So, I mean, that was okay. But yeah, he's not happy with that. When he looks back at those memories, he sees that very human part of himself, right? Worrying too much about winning, too much about his ego. So,
Mm,
and we all are worried about our ego. I always take our ego to mean that self that we create on this earth that other people see as us, we see as us. It's not us though. So, I'm not saying big ego. I'm just saying that was in service to his ego and fear of failure, really. it's sort of like you have to be the best or you're not good enough. Um, you have to win. You have to win, 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 or what? I don't know. He had a deep. Well, we got that Nine of Wands card. He did have a deep insecurity inside that was, just under many layers, right? That people didn't see, but it was there.
Mm,
Mhm.
that's
So no,
interesting.
he's not looking on that with we're just kind of laughing, but he's takes that very seriously. He regrets every one of those.
Oh, okay. But
Mhm.
it did raise the level of play, and people
Yeah.
were put on
Yes.
notice.
Yeah. And regret is a strong word because this was his path. This was supposed to be his path. So it was part of that. So regret's a strong word. I don't think on the other side they truly regret anything, but they don't look on those moments with, you know, it like they look on those moments as next time I would do it differently.
Okay. Huh,
Mm,
interesting.
yeah.
So
Mhm.
so because he was such a okay, I'm gonna you see these 5-year-olds and they can play,
Mhm.
Bach sonatas or and he was such a good basketball player from the start.
Mhm.
What and I don't know if he was a reincarnated basketball player to have those
Mm.
skills.
Hmm.
I mean, it's possible, but
Right.
what kind of I was always curious, what kind of skill set, what kind of sports do you do to be a
Mhm.
basketball prodigy? Like,
Oh, I
because
know,
there's no
right?
other sport. I'm
Okay.
trying to think, like before you could have a foot,
Oh, you mean like in
lacrosse, and
previous
they were the
lives or
Americans, they did.
huh,
But really,
what?
what?
He was an excellent runner. He's always an
Yeah.
excellent runner in previous lifetimes I see.
Okay.
He yeah, there was a bit of that. There's something mysterious about this, isn't it? With these human beings who are almost like superhuman. Um,
Yes.
there's like a mysterious, almost like a blessing on him, like a blessing, like, you know, the old the gods of old, the old Greek and, mythology, the gods of old and Hindu gods and, the ancient gods. There's a blessing somehow on his soul for amazing speed, almost flight. Hmm. You wonder a little because there's a lot about there's a lot of interest right now about ancient human civilizations, and there were many, 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 many ancient human civilizations. Because I've always heard this, like you have no idea how old
Right.
humanity, or at least humanoids, are on this earth. How many civilizations there have been, and I feel like on the other side, the guides chuckle a little that we think it's, what,
Mm, right.
that we think. Anyway, but so if previous lifetimes of his, what I do see is dating way back to
Uh,
those ancients. And in fact, call me crazy, but I saw a picture of him actually flying, like he could fly almost. So this has always been something
wow.
for him, this speed, this physical prowess. Um, yeah. And by dint of will, there was something with his ability to channel that when he was here. So he could really
Yeah.
hyper focus and he could just channel that. And he
Right.
knew, he
And his
knew
mind is
when he was in
different.
it. Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, so he must have had, besides the physical, there was a mental aspect too, where he was able to focus, to know exactly what was going on the court. So,
Absolutely. It's almost like he could slow down time a little. It
mm,
was like a meditative state in some ways, like I'm in the zone. And he could tell when he was entered into it. And right, it's almost like he could slow down time. He could see things. Oh, this guy's grabbing for this. Oh, this guy, I looked in his eyes and I saw that. And yeah, and
so
some of
did he
his
have?
speed was mental.
So did he
Mhm.
also have psychic abilities on the court to be able to
Ah.
anticipate people's actions? Or
My
was it just
goodness.
physical cues and knowing those players so
It was
well?
part of the oneness. So no, this would have been psychic or intuition. I don't know that he would.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think he kind of had an awareness. Did you just get a chill?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I think he did have an awareness that it's like he gets into a different plane. And yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So does he see
And then
oh, go ahead, I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry, I'm remembering this death stare concept too then. So
Yeah,
that was so if he was staring with intensity because I'm in the zone, that's not the death stare stuff he was talking about, sort of regretting. That was just yeah. Anyway.
yeah, no, because you could see his hyper focusness when you
Oh, could
watched
you?
him play. Yeah.
Hmm. Now I'm gonna have to watch.
So close.
Mhm.
So also then for this physical part, and I'm just interested in general, because there's lots of gifted people. Do you choose your parents based upon if this is your mission in life for their genetic material?
Oh, oh, that's
Because
fascinating.
because
Hmm.
he was estranged from his parents and his sisters a bit. And
Hmm.
you can understand, like, okay, maybe it was just to get that genetic material, and they
Hmm.
had lessons to learn also. What?
Hmm. It's something about like coming down through the ancestry, the DNA that's coming down.
Yeah,
There is something about this, and I feel like we will learn a lot more about that, um, because our DNA is it is part of the larger. It's part of the larger universe, right? It's just it's code. It's code. It's part of the larger universe. It's connected to physics, and it's connected to the oneness, the one greater consciousness. So yeah, I think so. I think so. I think people come in along certain lines for a reason, and so that really may have been picking up like he was just part of that genetic line. Hmm,
yeah, okay.
yeah,
And
interesting. It's very mysterious to me, so I can't even give it language.
and so does he work with younger players
So you ask about
if
is
he's
he
mentoring
mentoring
on the other side,
others?
others?
I think well, 5 of swords. You know what? I get that he may, just in the same way that he touches so many people's lives still because he
Mhm.
likes to do that, and he's hoping they recognize that was Kobe Bryant, and they get a little
Oh,
bit of a, uh, understanding that they're special, that they're motivated, and so he will touch people's lives. He will touch, um, young athletes' lives, but really he's most focused on his own kids is
yeah,
what I
yeah,
get. And the children, the sons and daughters of fellow players and friends
yeah,
who are developing athletically. So I guess yes, that's a yes, right? Because if it's
you're
the
right.
sons and daughters of other friends, these would be people he had a connection to though when he was alive. Yeah. Hmm. So that's
So
interesting. He likes
it
kids a
served me
lot.
though. Yeah. I'm glad my father had not passed while I was dating though, because I can't imagine him haunting me while I was dating.
Right.
'Cause he's like, "Oh, I don't
Right.
like that one. I like this one," like, I could hear him in my ear, like.
Yeah. Oh, well, he's got no judgment, of course, for his daughters.
But,
He's got no
I'm
judgment
sure
for
he has
them.
big plans for his daughters because they are going
Yeah.
to inherit quite a bit of wealth and foundations and
Mhm.
businesses. So they are going
Right.
to learn how to be business savvy from
Yeah.
their mother and just from the people that are around,
Yeah.
their
There's a
mother
reason
who
their souls came into that family at this time. Yes,
okay. Yeah, and they'll
absolutely.
do good for the world.
I hear one of these girls, I feel like she's resisting that. She's like, don't put that on me. Because, right, you just have to grow up. But she too eventually will be, um, more focused in the foundations, and yeah, she'll have her own path. So
Right, it's like being a
Yeah.
Kennedy or Rockefeller. They took it on as part of their public service because I have this
Yeah.
name and this is the family I'm in. Yeah.
Yeah, which is very, very, very generous to humanity.
Mhm. This is yeah, I need to do they had their own
Mhm.
lives, but as part of the
Mhm.
Rockefeller Foundation, they had to do these things. As part of being a Kennedy, I'm in public service,
Right,
right?
right,
So,
exactly. Mhm.
I could see that for the Bryant family, so
Yeah, I could see
it's
that too. Oh,
interesting.
definitely. Definitely. Yeah, and I feel like the girls are close enough to each other to even if they're not all alike, they're not, but they're close enough to each other too that they'll kind of pull each other in. Mm,
Okay,
yeah.
great. So,
Mhm.
is there any things that he wants to say towards the end of
Let's
our
see.
discussion here?
Mm. Okay, Lisa, I'm sorry, I don't want to be a broken record, but he still keeps wanting to talk to his wife. He loves her so much. And he keeps saying, yes, but they're also close to my wife, and she's why they're going to be close going forward. And, he's just really, really,
Well,
really.
does his wife know and feel him around all the time?
I wonder. I think she thinks that perhaps, but she's a busy lady. She's a busy lady. So I think yes, but I think there's a lot of times where he's around and she maybe doesn't pick up on it because she's such a busy lady and she's focusing on the girls and which is everything she's supposed to be focusing on. So maybe that's why he's so effusive right now toward her because he wants her to really know and hoping that she comes across something like this maybe at some point. But yes, the admiration for her is great, and he credits her with everything.
Yeah. Well, hopefully she comes across as I did not see you
Yeah.
can see a lot of Princess Diana medium videos. I did not see a lot of,
Hmm.
Kobe Bryant medium reads,
Right.
but
Mm.
I could see
Yeah.
where she wouldn't want to see it because she goes, "These people don't know." Because
Oh, of
she's been
course. Like, yeah, I can't imagine
yeah,
how I would feel, if I
yeah.
lost a loved one. I might just be a little bit leery about,
Well, but she's
especially
been,
he's famous. He's famous, so
scammed or, people have been attempting to scam them. I mean, even their
right.
relatives. I mean, both sets of parents.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, right? Yeah, looking to and he says that's forgiven, he just if his he would want his parents to know they're forgiven. But that's just he just wishes all that would stop, the concern about the money.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
So,
mhm.
and then she won a lawsuit against LA County because they had released
Mm.
photos of the helicopter crash, or
Oh.
there was some,
Mm,
yeah. So, and then she donated
mhm,
that, I don't know, 28 million, something like that,
mm,
to the foundation, his
mm,
foundation, which was very
mm.
good.
Right.
So, does he, do we need to give a warning if she listens to this that there are going to be many more? I mean,
Mhm.
his lawyer, I get the sense that his lawyers are full-time employed
Ah,
because of all
yes.
these lawsuits.
Right.
Are they continuing to mount, or are things going to
Mhm.
subside? I mean, it's been 3 years
Yeah,
since
let's see. To he does try to lead his wife out of this morass, and we have the moon. Yeah, I don't know, not quickly, not quickly. No, I'm sorry. But we have the Queen of Swords, the press. The press is very involved in this. It will even grow in, people's sort of outrage about this will even grow. So it looks like there could even be yet another one coming in. Um,
okay.
but but why? But why? Well, gradually and temperance. I don't know. Um, it looks like it does resolve gradually. Yeah, with that temperance angel, just gradually, and it's okay. But the most important thing is, his wife. They do have a team of attorneys and
Mhm.
advisors. They very competent, very, very competent. So the less she thinks that she doesn't need to think about it a lot.
Okay, except
So
when
that's
it's
good.
in the news and she has to testify. They because
Ah,
she represents the family, she has to go into court.
mm,
So,
yeah, yeah,
and,
that's not good. Mm,
will it affect his daughters? Because I feel like one daughter might be affected.
mm,
Is that true?
mm.
Or,
Yeah,
yeah,
right, right, right. Well, only in that justice becomes very important to her, I think, right? Do you
yeah,
feel that? Like the 10 of coins, well, they'll have wealth for sure, these young women will. Um, 2 of coins. One may study law. One may
mhm,
study law. Mm.
okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I felt like,
Yep.
there were some either legal issues around it or something. Yeah,
Mhm.
so because she can see how it's affecting her mother. I mean,
Right.
her
It
lawyers are
is
trying
just
to,
ridiculous.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So they've won everything,
Of course.
and
Right.
then I'm
Right.
sure some of them have not seen the light of day because they get resolved
Mhm.
somehow else, or there's no standing grounds.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm sorry, but I have another, like, did he anticipate this? Because he is
Mhm.
surrounded by such good people.
Right.
Was it him and his wife finding these people, or did these people find him? Like, were they placed by guides and angels? Like,
Mm.
these are the people, your team, or did
Mm.
they have to go and look, look, look?
No, I do think they were placed. I do think they were placed, but it's that combination, right? I do feel like our angels do whisper in our ears,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
call this firm, or yes, do take the call from this person who could be of help, or like there's a little guidance in his wife's ear, but yet at the same time, right, these are people who are very competent, and yes, we're we're sent as well. So we have that. Well, and a lot of this again is this his wife, just she wouldn't put up with anything less either. She, she doesn't want to be taken advantage of, and she has trust in all these people who are part of her team, and she should. Mm.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
I just had a flash of a basketball game, actually him playing basketball and seeing a lot of spirits and angels. Now,
Ah,
uh, in the court.
right. Of course, that makes sense. Hmm.
So, while they're playing basketball, is it all human powered? Like when the ball goes into the net and things,
Oh gosh,
or is
no. Yeah, no, it's not, is it? It's consciousness. Like I can see the ball going into the net. Like I know it will. Like I'm willing it to. Yeah. Oh yeah.
okay? And
Hmm.
then do angels or guides or sometimes spirits that have passed over move the ball? Because I know spirits on the other side can move things, right? We talked about Whitney and
Right,
Oprah.
right, right. Hmm.
So, or are
Hmm.
they not allowed to,
I feel
like,
like they're kinda I don't feel like they do on the court. They're not allowed. I feel like it's sort
okay.
of like there's a rule there.
Oh, good, good. That's good to know.
Yeah. I mean, like, they can encourage the players, they can whisper in their ear, they can encourage them, they can bring in force, they can, um, bring in energy, but, yeah, I don't think they can.
Oh,
That's
gosh,
interesting. I didn't
it's
expect
so
to. Maybe
interesting.
they've all decided. Maybe it's, like, by mutual agreement, we're not going to do that.
Or if some new, passed on spirit walks onto the court, you have all the other ones going, "Go away, stay away, get out of the court."
I don't know, but it's like it's a mutually agreed upon, "No, we don't do that. We don't interfere in contests such as this." Yeah.
That's
Mm,
fascinating.
that is.
So,
That
I'll
is.
have to ask that same question when we get to
Yeah.
politics and ballots
Oh,
and
yeah.
electronic machines. So,
Right, 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 right. When we get to that.
when we interview a politician, I'm going to have to ask some other questions related to that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because really when you think about it, that would be more like black magic, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
If you would be asking a guide to move the ball, out of a fellow player's grasp, that would be more like black magic. And that's not what's happening on these courts. Where these players, many of them do pray, and many
Yeah.
of them really do. They just want to do their best. There's a lot of really good norms around that. Although there's some I know there is some dirty tricks that happen, but no, I don't see angels or any spiritual force helping out with any dirty tricks.
Oh, okay. Or even positive ones where,
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah, or
move that
even a
winning shot or something. Okay.
yeah, or even right, we'll move the ball a little bit to get it in the net. No, I don't see that.
Fascinating. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
Well, do you have any other questions, Becca?
No, this is interesting. It's just been wonderful. I just want to tell Mr. Bryan, thank you very, very much. It's been wonderful. Yeah, he's a very intense person, isn't he? He's a
Yeah.
very intense, but then now that's really good on the other side.
Right.
That
And
intensity
he
is
has
all
very
good
clear
energy.
yeah, and boundaries of how things should be. That's I get
Yeah.
this, right? This is the way it
I
should be.
I still see that. Yeah, I still feel you hear that from him. Yeah, like yeah, and this sort of tenacity, like I'm not going to
Yeah.
stop until I help people to understand more and more. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's super hyper focused always, even on the other side.
That's what I'm getting.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Oh, it's wonderful to meet these people on the other side. They're their best selves, right? When they're
yeah.
when they're part of the oneness.